Hi friends! Today we are talking about how you can use fashion to boost your mood, just in general, but also specifically in the cold, dark winter season, and especially this winter, which has felt particularly bleak, to understate it dramatically. Over the past few weeks, I have found that there are strategies I can use when getting dressed each day to help improve my mood in these cold, dark times. And since we all have to get dressed every day anyway, I thought I would share some tools I found that can make it a more joyful, mood-boosting, positive part of your day. I also think being able to improve your mood with your clothing is so valuable, not only because it makes you feel good, but also because feeling better then helps you handle life better. It makes you more energized, more confident, more motivated, more self-assured, and more able to take action on things instead of just like doom scrolling yourself into despair. So I hope these ideas help you not only get dressed in a way that feels good, but also then help you feel more inspired, motivated, and energized in your daily tasks and actions as well. All these tips apply year-round, but I think they're especially pertinent in the winter just because that tends to be when we need the mood boost the most. And each of my overarching tips in this video also has a specific winter edition as well. So I hope whatever season or circumstances you're in, this can help you when you're getting dressed for the day. Oh, and I also have an extra project, I guess I'll call it, to share at the end. So stay tuned for that. Okay, let's get into it. The first tip is kind of an obvious one, but it feels like a good baseline to start with. One easy way to boost your mood with your clothes is to wear bright, fun colors. There's really no right color to choose here. Just wearing a color you love with some vibrancy or energy to it can do so much to make your brain feel better. I mean, if your clothes have a sense of fun and joy and whimsy, it's hard for that not to transfer into your headspace for the day as well. And even affect the mental state of the people around you too. Wearing fun, bright, whimsical clothing is not just a way to boost your mood, it's honestly a public service, especially in cold, dark times where the sun sets at 4 p.m. and morale may be low. That said, different colors can also have different effects. One particular Psychology Today article, which I will link below, says that specifically warm colors like red, orange, yellow, and pink can be motivating and energizing, while cool colors like green, blue, and purple can have a calming effect. So you could even choose to wear warm versus cool colors, depending on if you're more in need of energy or more in need of calm. But again, there's not really a wrong answer here. Energy and calm are both great things to give yourself. I think the best thing is just to pick a color you love and wear that. You could also even combine them. I mean, I'm wearing, these aren't the brightest shades, but blue and sort of a rusty red at the same time right now. The more colors, the better. This article also mentions that white and gray spaces can be psychologically stressful and have depressing effects, which I'm sure a gray room is different psychologically than like a gray coat, but the point is color really is genuinely emotionally and psychologically impactful. And it seems like using any color versus those plain neutrals is generally more positively stimulating. This applies year-round, but I would also note, specifically in cold, dark winter when the natural world is very dull and gray and dead, hits of color can be all the more vital. And my winter-specific addition to this one is to get and wear those essential winter items like gloves, mittens, hats, scarves, earmuffs, even your winter coat in fun colors. They don't have to be neutral. And in fact, I don't think they should be. And I'm just kidding. Neutral's fine too. I also have neutral winter accessories. Sometimes you need something versatile. But my favorites are often the colorful ones. I would also extend this to patterns. I think wearing patterns also boosts your mood. At least it boosts mine, because it often feels a bit more playful and whimsical and also just a little more visually stimulating, which I think, again, can kind of energize your brain. Oh, you don't belong there. I actually found this sort of synthesis of a bunch of different research on the specific psychological effects of different specific patterns. I will also link that below for anyone who's interested. This was more about patterns in your environment than in your outfit, and they got super, super specific. So I'm not going to go into too much detail on that here. That could be a whole other video, but this is all to say, patterns do have a psychological impact. And specifically, it seems like our brains like the repetition and the sense of rhythm, balance, and visual complexity that patterns create. Certain patterns also feel particularly bold, energetic, and playful to me, like stripes, polka dots, or checkerboard patterns. A lot of block print patterns also have this sort of joyful, playful feel to me. If you want something a little more cozy and calming, I think something that tends to be a little softer and lower contrast, like a Fair Isle pattern or maybe an ornate floral could be great. In general, I find bigger patterns with more high contrast to be more bold and energetic, while smaller, more detailed, lower contrast patterns feel more subtle and like calm and cozy and subdued. And I think both could improve your mood in different ways. Overall, to me, like with the colors, this is less about which specific pattern you choose and more about just picking a pattern you love to look at, which will then create a little more visual interest, be a little more stimulating, and also will probably boost your mood just because you're wearing a pattern you like. And one surefire way to boost your mood with fashion is to wear something you love. My winter edition here is also similar to what I said for colors. Winter accessories and coats and such can not only be in fun colors, but can also be in fun patterns. A colorful striped scarf, a checkered hat, mittens with a fun little graphic on them. Truly, the whimsy and joy these could bring to my mood compared to plain ones is so palpable that I do want to go and look for these at the thrift store right now. If you're a knitter or a crocheter, you could even make your own. Or if you're not, you could maybe even upcycle like a plain hat or pair of mittens you have with embroidery or something. I'm honestly getting so inspired and boosting my mood just thinking about this. I realize the point of this video is not DIY suggestions, but I do now want to go add fun, colorful graphic motifs to all my winter accessories. My next suggestion of how to dress to boost your mood is less about how the clothes look and more about how they feel. It is to wear clothing with a fabric and fit that you love and find super comfortable. Because as much as wearing something that makes you happy to look at will generally boost your mood, if it's uncomfortable, that might just cancel it out entirely. Feeling good physically in my body, in my clothes, for me is pretty much essential to a good mood. And also just essential to like be able to focus on the task at hand and just be a functional person who isn't distracted by my itchy, ill-fitting top every 2 seconds. For me, the highest comfort in fit is usually something somewhat baggy and or stretchy. I really don't like to feel constricted. And the highest comfort for fabrics, for me, generally is 100% cotton or a high proportion of cotton in a blend. It's just the material I find the most comfortable in everything from lounge pants to dress shirts to cozy knit sweaters. Like this one. Your preference for fit or material might be something different, but this is really just about tapping into that preference, being aware of how your clothes physically feel on your body, and allowing yourself to prioritize comfort, at least specifically on days when you really need that mood boost. It's very normal to have a variety of comfort levels in your wardrobe, and that's fine. But on that day, when you really need something to help make being a person in the world a little easier, and you really want to avoid being distracted by your clothes, prioritizing comfort is key. To be clear, this also doesn't have to sacrifice style or the fun colors or patterns that we talked about earlier. It's definitely not like a gray sweats or bold, colorful patterned outfit situation. For me, comfy with fun colors and patterns often looks like maybe just some plain lounge pants, and then on top, a big, nice, oversized cotton sweater with a bright color or graphic or pattern on it. There's definitely a way to balance colorful fun, playfulness, and cozy comfort in your outfits, and I highly encourage you to mix them. My winter edition here is to remember comfort also includes being warm enough. I know some people are more willing to sacrifice warmth for style than others. I myself am more or less willing depending on the circumstances of the day and my mood, you know? But if you're really specifically in need of a mood boost, putting yourself in physical discomfort is never going to help. And that includes being cold. Bundle up, cozy up, embrace the layers and chunky knits. You will never regret your outfit being climate appropriate. All right, my next suggestion is a little more whimsical. It is to embrace the power of fantasy in your outfits. So like, clearly I suggest dressing for comfort and the reality of your day. I don't think you should throw all that out the window and dress for the fantasy that you're on a tropical island vacation or something. Although that does sound kind of fun if you're just staying at home. But what I mean here is dress for the circumstances of the day, but also maybe tap into your fantasy of how, like, I don't know, a cool, chic fashion editor would dress for the circumstances of your day, or how a spy would dress for the circumstances of your day. How would a medieval princess dress if she had to take public transit? What would a vampire wear to this corporate office job? These are the types of questions that can help you tap into fantasy in a way that's so fun and imaginative and creativity inspiring, while also still being realistic and practical. This can also be as extra or as subtle as you'd like. You could go all out channeling a fairy tale king and wear like a velvet cape, or you could just like channel a little bit of time traveler energy by doing your hair or makeup in sort of a retro inspired style for the day. And again, this doesn't have to be literal fairy tale time traveler fantasy vibes at all. This can be whatever excites you. You could channel like mysterious artist vibes, or rugged adventurer vibes, or even just your fantasy self who's like you, but a little bolder and more confident. This idea is really less about the outfit you end up with and more about the feeling of having fun putting it together and having fun wearing it throughout the day. Because even if it pretty much just looks like a regular outfit to everyone else, you know you're secretly an Arctic explorer today, or whatever you're channeling. This feels like a very whimsical and childlike way of going about life. I feel like I had this sort of whimsical fantasy in my head going about my day somewhat regularly as a child. And I guess I don't know. I have to imagine other children were doing the same thing, or you are all watching this like, what kind of kid were you? I can't relate. I feel like this is something kids do. It's something a lot of us, sort of let go of as we grow up, which is fine and normal. We have other things to worry about. But I just think this could be so fun and inspiring and energizing to tap into again in adult life. As we've discussed already, small visual signals like color or pattern can have a meaningful psychological impact. And it's also true that internal signals like affirmations can have a similar impact. Literally just telling yourself, I am strong, can improve your performance on physical challenges. So it stands to reason that telling yourself that you're a rugged adventurer who can take on the challenges of the day while putting on your little brown lace-up boots for the day could also have a very powerful effect on how good and confident and motivated you feel throughout the day. You could even choose different fantasy personas to channel in your outfit depending on which strengths you want to tap into. Like if you're steeling yourself for a really difficult task that will take a lot of determination, you could channel like powerful warrior vibes in your outfit. Or if you're going to be around people and you really want to convey warmth and comfort in that setting, make yourself feel more warm and comfortable and communicate that to others. You could channel like, what's a warm, comforting persona? Like a cool teacher? Cool, quirky teacher vibes? Frazzled English woman vibes? Wow, wait, you know what? This is making me realize aesthetic niches and cores are basically the teen and young adult version of when you're 11 and you like pretend you're a spy for fun to make your day more interesting. My winter specific addition here is to embrace the nature of the season with these fantasies rather than trying to fight it. You can just sort of place these fantasy avatars that you're trying to embody in your seasonal environment. Again, like how would a vampire dress to go to work on a cold, snowy winter day? Or you could even choose a fantasy to channel that is winter related, like an Arctic explorer or like a badass snowboarder or a citizen of Narnia. You can get as whimsical or as mundane as you want. Embracing the season within this whimsical imagination kind of makes the season feel more whimsical and less like this cold, dark drudgery. It helps you kind of romanticize it instead of trying to escape it or resenting it. Finally, my last way to use fashion to boost your mood is to use your outfit as a way to communicate and connect with others. Wear things that express yourself, express your style, or even your values or interests. A slogan tee or sweater, maybe earrings of like an animal you love or something. Clothing that expresses yourself really concretely is such a great way to boost your mood because, in my experience, it makes you feel more self-assured, more stable and strong in your identity, and it can also help you connect with others more because very expressive or communicative pieces in your outfit can be a great conversation starter. When I wear my little cicada earrings or my Wild Horses for Total Liberation t-shirt, I very often get people commenting on them, saying they like them or, it speaks to them. And then in that moment, your clothing has literally helped you meaningfully connect with another human being. You've been affirmed, they've been affirmed because you share something in common. And that's like one of the most uplifting, mood boosting experiences you can have in your day, at least for me. My winter edition for this one is a little less concretely connected, but in the spirit of boosting your mood with fashion that connects you with your community and the people around you, I also think looking to your real world community for style inspiration can be a lovely way to boost your mood in the winter. First of all, this is great for winter because it's just going to give you much more realistic, climate appropriate inspiration. Looking to the people around you also makes you feel less like you have to do the like cutesy Pinterest version of winter fashion or whatever that may not apply to your real life and your real climate, it can be sort of affirming and mood boosting to get away from that expectation and connect with something more real and realistic. And then I also think this is just great for your style and your mood in general because A, it's just fun and inspiring to look to people on the streets around you for style inspo, and it connects you and your style to a sense of place and community, which is cool. And also B, getting out and connecting with the people and places around you physically in real life is also just a great way to boost your mood in and of itself. Like I love a cute outfit. I love using fashion as this creative outlet and using it to improve my mood. But an outfit is never going to be as good for my mood as like going outside, going for a walk, getting a little sunshine. I always feel better when I leave the house, see the people and places that make up my home, and even just have those small surface level interactions with like the grocery store cashier, the neighbor you pass as you're leaving your house or you're on a neighborhood walk. All of this can give you great style inspo and will make you feel more in touch with your community, which will then boost your mood. In the spirit of community and connecting with and supporting your neighbors, now is a great time to share the project that I mentioned earlier, which is a Depop sale fundraiser for the Immigration Law Center of Minnesota. I'll be running this fundraiser all month through the end of February. Every cent I make this month on Depop will go to the Immigration Law Center of Minnesota, which is a nonprofit organization that provides free immigration legal representation to low-income immigrants and refugees. So if you happen to be interested in some cute and stylish secondhand clothes, maybe they'll help you make an outfit that will boost your mood. Please do check it out through the link below and help support legal representation for refugees and immigrants, including many detained by ICE. And if you don't need or want any of the clothes available, but you just want to support the fundraiser, I will also provide a direct link to do that in the description as well. With that, we have covered all my mood boosting fashion tips that I hope can help you use your daily outfits to feel more energized, more motivated, just generally less despairing, or whatever other positive mental impact you're needing right now. Thanks so much for watching. I'd love to hear your thoughts on these strategies in the comments. If you've already done them, if you have any to add, let us know. And I heard if you do leave a comment, watch another video, like maybe this one right here, and subscribe, you'll get an amazing night's sleep and wake up tomorrow already in an excellent mood, which will then only be boosted more by your fantastic outfit, of course.